Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm working with the lovely Daffodil Daydream, which is a new stamp set and die set that is in the new January to June mini catalogue, and it's lovely. You can see happy Mother's Day, Easter blessings, and you've got these two beautiful daffodil images, a lovely accent, butterfly and little speckle, but the magic also comes with the dies that come with it. I've got mine in the case here, and you can see here are the stamped images, and as you can see, but the magic comes when you come to create these lovely flowers. As you can see, I have just done a reference guide, so you want you can create these lovely daffodils. You've got a lovely bud stem, and if we turn over, you've also got this fabulous stem here as well. So you can see that you can really have a lot of fun with these. I'll be doing a video to showcase the suite and show some samples, as I've got lots of different colourways to show you. But today I'm focusing just on the stamp set and some lovely accent butterflies. So here's the card. I'm going to use my Stamparatus to get that perfect placement on my stamped image. We're going to use a bit of masking to get that background, a bit of blending, and you'll see those super fun little butterflies, which are these brushed brass butterflies that you can see here. You can see I was thinking about using the iridescent rhinestones, but changed my mind because I thought the butterflies were just perfect with it. I've also used our super tags, so these are the tailor-made tags. I've used the smallest one of these. It just fitted the Easter blessings perfectly. I didn't worry about using the extra pieces to reinforce it, as I'm not using it as a tag, and I just grabbed one out of my stash. So let's get started with our stamping. So first off, what do I do? So what I do with stamping when I'm doing something like this, where I might want to use quite a few, is that I actually create myself some little templates, and then I die cut lots of the flowers out of just plain basic white. So there's my template. It would help if I get the right image out. Here we go. Throw it about in the box. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my image, and I'm just going to pop it in the centre there. Take that one out. And then I'm just going to flip over my, well, I can stay there for the moment, Stamparatus plate and pick that up. Now I'm going to ink it up. Doesn't matter what ink you use. For this one, obviously, because I'm going to be I'm going to be colouring with blends, so I'm going to use my Memento. So I'm just inking up the image and stamping it onto my grid paper, like so. Then all I'm going to do, you can see here, I have die cut out of the centre of a darkish piece. This is retired cardstock. And I'm just going to get that so that it's really nicely placed, and I can see my image with a nice even border. Add my magnets to it, and then I'm going to take one of my plain die cut images, which you can see here, and I'm just going to pop that into the aperture, like so. Come in again, ink up your image. And then pop that over, and there we have perfect placement every time. It means you can get the most out of your cardstock when you put it through your die cutting machine, because you're just cutting lots and lots and lots out, and you get a lovely image that is ready to use perfectly. So that's my hint and tip for today. So in terms of the card, standard card base, so half a sheet of A4, I've cut mine as a 10th fold, so it's 10.5 by 29, scored at 14.5. I've then got a piece of Granny Apple Green, which is going to be my centre panel there. If you're going to be frugal, which I often am, I would gut the centre out of that, but that is just 10 by 14 centimetres. And I'm just going to put, and this is thick basic white that I've made my card base out of. Okay, pop that there. And then my layer that I'm going to use next is just again 1/2 centimetre smaller, so 9.5 by 13.5 centimetres. And I'm coming in with my brush and hopefully, no, that's my Mango Melody. I'm forever doing that. Pick up the wrong one. Here we go. Here we go. My Daffodil Delight. So I've got a blending brush here. With these, hold them by the end onto your ink pad, tap off, and then just circular motion all the way over. Start in the centre and I'm working my way out just to kind of give a pretty haze, and that central part obviously will be covered up by our image. There we go. I want it slightly more. Okay, so now I am now going to use my Mango Melody because I just want a slightly stronger image. So I'm going to take that same image, and you can either do this on your Stamparatus or onto your block. In this instance I'm going to pop it back on my block because I just find it a little easier to do. I'm going to need to clean that because I've used Memento in it. So for those of you who use cleaning, I tend to use my chamois as I go along. But if I want a really good clean, I use my Stampin' scrub. So the side with the raindrops is where you spray it to clean and then dry on the other side with our sunshine image. Okay, nice and easy. Now what I'm going to do now is ink up my image like so, and I'm going to just pop that off to one side. Now what I have done in advance is I have stamped the image onto my post-it notes, and the one edge is the sticky edge. So there's not a lot of stick on there, but it is sufficient. When I cut it out, although it's a little bit fiddly, I've cut slightly inside the lines because that will then enable me to stamp over that. And that would obviously look a mess if you were just stamping it just how it is, but you remove that and look at that. You've got the most fabulous double bouquet, which will allow me then to add my die cut layer. Don't throw this away, it's still got lots of life left in it. Just stick it back on your pile and keep it in with your stamp set so that you're ready to go. So there's our image. Now I want to do some colouring. So I'm just going to use my light Daffodil Delight on the brush tip to come in on this. And I chose the Granny Apple Green because I just think it's a lovely fresh green, although it's probably not as true a green as you would get on with daffodils. They tend to be darker, so nearer our Old Olive or our Garden Green, but I couldn't resist a lovely splash of colour. So I've coloured all those in with my light. I'm then going to come in with the bullet tip and add where those black lines are, this sort of shading. I'm going to add a bit of depth there. Not a lot, but just a little bit where you would naturally get a little more shade. And this just helps to create a slightly more 3D effect. And then again, being blends, I'm going to come in again with the brush tip, but just on those pieces that I've added, so not all the way over. Just adding a little bit of shading, like so. And then coming in with my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to use the bullet tip for quite a bit of this because they're quite narrow, the stems, in places, and I don't want to get too enthusiastic. They're quite sketchy, these, though. It's a lovely fresh spring green. Kind of reminds me of an old colour we used to have. It's going towards Lemon Lime Twist, which was one I absolutely loved. But this is actually a more useful colour, I think, really, because obviously it's more natural. So just make sure you've added all of your bits and pieces in. A little bit of dark in some of those areas, just a shade. So in those areas around the petals where there'd be a bit of shade. Down the side of the stem. And where some of the stems that cross over as well. And again, just come in with your bullet tip to blend those in. Trying to knock the lid off the other end, which I obviously hadn't put back on properly. Okay. And there we have our image. So we can pop this onto our card front. If you ever get any sort of blobs, just to work them a little bit. You don't need massive amounts of Tombow. Make sure your card is opening the right way. So that in itself is quite pretty, but I think you'll find when you add these extra little bits on, it really comes to life. So I'm just popping them all over the back here so that it's well supported. Just down, and the mini dimensionals are perfect for that because obviously they are small enough to put on those smaller extreme extremities of your die cut. And again, I've put my marker line on the back here so I can see where I've taken those all off. So we're going to pop that, I'm going to just add that to the centre of the card, and then let's add some of our lovely butterflies. These are so pretty. Lovely metal butterflies. There we go. Some of those on there. And then for our tag, so with my tag, I've managed to have a bit right. There we go. Okay, so with the tag, two more things I want to do. First is to stamp the inside of my card, and I will do the same with this on my envelope. So I'll be using my Daffodil Delight and this lovely border stamp. And I'm just going to pop that at the bottom of my card. Then I want to use my Easter blessings. She says. Here we use one of my kit blocks. Comes with a kit, always a good way. Having looked at our all-inclusive kits, you get these extra little blocks, and the Easter blessings just fits on there. And then I couldn't find my my thinner baker's twine, so if you've got some thick baker's twine, all you need to do is just take a few strands from that, and not only do you end up with some finer twine, It's got a really pretty stuff crinkle on it as well. So pop that through and you'll see I did a rubbish job. I managed to actually put my inky block all over the side there, but that's going to be covered up by my bow, she says optimistically. So I'm going to tie my bow on that top edge. If needs be, I can pop a little dot or a butterfly over it as well. There we go. That'll be covered up by that. Again, dimensional on the back there, or in this case, yep, a couple of dimensionals. Card nice and flat. And so I'm just going to grab, to hold that in place, I'm going to grab a glue dot and just sort of roll that up. So if you take your glue dot and you take your pick, I've got one of the old ones here. I'm just going to put that glue dot where I want my thread to stay. There we go. And there we have our Easter Blessings card ready for Easter. Can you believe I'm thinking Easter already? Bit of fun. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and don't forget to keep an eye open for my lovely sweet inspiration to show you some more ideas and some more detail on how you can use this particular bundle of products. Thanks for watching. Bye now.